Good day everyone, welcome to my maths video. Today's lesson will be on the topic of integration of trigonometric function. To start off, we'll go on to the whiteboard. The title of this lesson is Integration of Trigonometric Function. We'll start off by looking at a series of formula that you need to remember, which is this. On the left side is the function y. On the right side is the result after integration. What you need to observe is, firstly, there are only 6 standard functions that you need to know how to integrate. Alright, any other variation of this, any other function other than this, you cannot use this formula. Oh, there are 2 important things you need to take note. One, firstly, the angles are all in radian. So take note of this. That's a very important information. The second most important information or fact is that the angles are all linear. Any other angles you cannot use this formula. Angles are linear function. That means y equals mx plus c. So we have ax plus b. So ax plus b is a linear function. So, for example, if you have ax squared, then this formula doesn't work. It must be only linear function. Alright, let's start off by going through the formula closely. Firstly, take note that I have actually paired them out into 3 pairs for a reason. So if you remember each of this in a pair, you will remember all the 6 formulas. Alright, to start off, you will notice that all this angle, all the result start off with 1 over a. Now, the a comes from differentiating the angle. When you differentiate ax plus b, you get an a there. So, you must remember to get this factor out here, 1 over a. And then, on top of that, you must also notice that all the answers must end with plus c. For the main reason is the integration is an indefinite integral. In other words, no limits. So you must end the answer with a c or plus c. Okay, so you start off by integrating. Remember, you must always differentiate the angle and put it over here. That means 1 over a. Okay, the next thing you will also notice is all the function that starts with c, cos, cotangent, cosecant, all starting with c, has a negative sign in front of them. All the others, no negative sign. All are positive. So remember this important information. So if you remember this, all you have to do is remember this formula, and remember this formula. So only 3 basic formulas to remember. Now also, the other thing you also notice for the last 2 pairs, the reason why I pair them together because they are related functions. Secant square and cosecant square are related. Tangent and cotangent. So if you remember the first one, you remember the second one. The only difference is the negative sign. Similarly, for the third pair, secant tangent is related to cosecant cotangent. So the answer also is related. Secant is cosecant. Again, the only difference is the negative sign. Alright, so take your time, take about 5 minutes to remember this formula. Then only we will proceed on with the next part. We'll look at a few examples, 6 examples for a start, to see how this formula are applied. Alright, let's move on to the next screen. Okay, I've listed 6 examples here, and I will show you one by one how to write out the answer. We know the integration of sine. The first thing you must do is differentiate the angle. Differentiate the 2x is 2. So we must have 1 over 2 outside. Followed by integration of sine must give you a cos function plus c. And then you will also notice this function starts with c. What did I say about functions starting with c? You must have a negative sign. Next thing, differentiate cos x. Integrate cos x over 3. The first thing you do is differentiate the angle first. Differentiate x over 3 give 1/3. So it's 1 divided by 1/3. And then integrate cos is sine x over 3 and then plus c. Now this function in front here, we will prefer to write in the proper form, which is 3 sine x over 3. Once you become very adept, you can just write the answer straight away as 3 sine x over 3 instead of writing the fraction like this. Also noting that sine is a function not starting with c, starting with s, so there's no negative sign involved. Similarly for the second one, secant square. Integrate secant square, we start by differentiating the angle. Differentiate 3x minus 1 will give us 3, so therefore the answer should be 1 over 3. Integrate secant square will be tangent, and remember the angle doesn't change, it's still 3x minus 1 in this case, and then plus a c. Next example, 4. Integrate cosecant square 2x plus 3. Again we differentiate the angle, 2x plus 3, we have a 2, so 1 over 2. Cosecant square will give us cotangent, so it's related to the earlier one. And the angle still remains the same, in this case is 2x plus 3 plus c. And we check the function starts with c, so we need a negative sign. That finishes example 4. Example 5, integrate secant tangent. Okay, we differentiate the angle, 4x will give us 4, therefore 1 over 4. Integrate secant tangent will give us secant, and the angle is 4x plus c. Similarly, for the next one, cosecant cotangent is related to secant tangent. Differentiate the angle, 5x is 5, so 1 over 5. And cosecant, instead of secant, is cosecant 5x plus c. Notice that the function starts with the letter c, therefore we need to have a negative sign. So that finishes the first 6 examples. Alright, let's look at the next slide. Now, I've listed out 7 examples here. I would like you to try it. Give it 5 minutes or 6 minutes to try out this. Write out the answers clearly. You may start now. So proceed with the proceed with writing out the answers. Don't look at the screen. I'm going to write out the answers. After you finish, then you check the screen to compare your answers. Once you're finished, check the answer. I will give you the next set of 6 questions, a little bit more advanced, but still based on the same basic 6 formula. So if you're done checking and comparing, you can move on to the next slide. Otherwise, you may pause this video to check your answers. Okay, next slide. I have 6 questions here. You may proceed or you may pause to try out the question. Once you have finished in 6 minutes or so, possible you try to complete it in 6 minutes, then you may check your answers. I will proceed to write down the answer. You may pause it so that you don't see the answers. Once you're finished, check the answers. If you are able to get the next 6 questions correct, the current 6 questions correct, then you're done well. That's all for today. Thank you for your attention. Bye.